Now is the time at which I film a video. It's like early afternoon, because if I film it like when I first get up, because the sun's like right out my window, then it's like I'm filming a video in the heart of a dying star. And if I film it any later, it's like I'm shrouded in darkness. Now, I'm not really sure what I was going to do, because usually I just know that on my end screens I'll read Harry Potter, but I can't. Now I'm stuck. I might just read more Harry Potter for this entire video. But firstly, actually, I just had an idea. Doctor Who was good yesterday. If you haven't seen it, this is what I'm going to do. To avoid spoilers, but still let you to watch the video afterwards. I shall hold up my finger, like so. And when I'm done talking about Doctor Who, I'll put down my finger. You just got to mute the audio for a bit. Or just skip ahead through bits until the finger's down. Alright, I'll give you 3 seconds then. 1, 2, 3. Now, I really didn't have that much high hopes for the episode. I mean, from like what I saw, it was just like a ghost, and that sort of bored me to a degree. But as it got on, like, I thought the whole pocket dimension thing was quite a cool idea, and I've seen that around in Doctor Who before, but I thought they did it quite well. And also, the sort of ultimate villain, which didn't turn out into a villain, in which it turned out to be a love story rather than a ghost story. I thought that was it's kind of clever, I guess. But that monster looked goddamn creepy. I've been like, props to the special effects department or something, because that was really weird. And the whole thing with the TARDIS just said, oh, I'm going to get drained and die, and then, like, nothing happened to it. Well, as so far, I don't expect anything happened to it. I'm going to swap fingers round right now, so if you just unpause for some reason, I'm still talking about Doctor Who, I just had to swap hands, my hands get tired. Yeah, we just said, oh yeah, the TARDIS will lose energy and die, and nothing happened, it just flew away merrily. But from the next time, where he's in the sort of other episode, wherever it is, and the TARDIS has crashed, they have to go to the centre. I'm not sure if the centre or the heart of the TARDIS are the same thing, but hopefully that sort of means that something did happen and didn't just like go back on what they said. I'm not sure who wrote it actually, but it was quite good, it was better than I expected. And I have quite high hopes for the next episode, I guess. But I'm really just still waiting for a Neil Gaiman Cyberman episode. So that's my review of the Doctor Who episode Hyde. Now go to the end screen. I wear a hat for the occasion. So basically, baby Harry, baby Dudley's been wrestled into a high chair. None of them noticed a large tawny owl flutter past their window. At 8:30, Mr. Dursley picked up his briefcase, pecked Mrs. Dursley on the cheek, and tried to kiss Dudley goodbye, but missed, because Dudley was now having a tantrum and throwing his cereal at the walls. Those bloody walls. Little tyke, chortled Mr. Dursley as he left the house. He said that very threateningly when I did my voice. He got into his car and backed out of number 4's drive, if you know what I mean. It was on the corner of the street that he noticed the first sign of something peculiar. A cat reading a map. For a second, Mr. Dursley didn't realise what he had seen. Then he jerked his head around to look again. There was a tabby cat standing on the corner of Privet Drive, but there wasn't a map in sight. What could he have been thinking of? It must have been a trick of the light, because like the light makes you see maps. So I'm eating like a Dorito right now. I'm actually editing out the bits in which I stop to eat Doritos, so if I stop, it's because I'm still eating a Dorito. He stared back as Mr. Dursley drove around the corner and up the road. He watched a cat in his mirror. It was now reading the sign that said Privet Drive. No, looking at the sign. Cats couldn't read maps or signs. Racist. Mr. Dursley gave himself a little shake and put the cat out of his mind. I was going to say put the cat out of its misery. That would have changed Harry Potter a lot if, like, straight away, McGonagall just got ran over by a car. As he drove towards town, he thought of nothing except a large order of drills he was hoping to get that day, if you know what I mean. But on the edge of the town, drills were driven out of his mind by something else. As he sat in the unusual morning traffic jam, He couldn't help but notice that there seemed to be a lot of strangely dressed people about. People in cloaks. Mr. Dursley couldn't bear people who dressed in funny clothes. The get-ups you saw on young people. He was supposed this was some stupid new fashion. He drummed his fingers on the steering wheel, and his eyes fell on a huddle of those weirdos standing close by. They were whispering excitedly together, organising some sort of orgy, I presume. Mr. Dursley was enraged to see that a couple of them weren't young at all. Why, that man had to be older than him, and wearing an emerald green cloak. The nerve of him. But then it struck Mr. Dursley that this was probably some silly stunt. These people were obviously collecting for something. Yes, that would be it. The traffic moved on, and a few minutes later Mr. Dursley arrived in the Grunnings car park, his mind back on drills, if you know what I mean. Mr. Dursley always sat with his back to the window in his office of the 9th floor. If he hadn't, he might have found it harder to concentrate on the drills that morning. He didn't see the owls swooping past in broad daylight, though people down in the street did. They pointed and gazed open-mouthed as owl after owl sped overhead. That page seems to go by a very long time. Jesus Christ, like 4 minutes took me to read that. Probably because of the Dorito breaks and also the fact that I'm stopping a lot. So, yep, I guess I'll see you tomorrow.